although there were warnings that I frankly wasn't aware of, although there were warnings, I think our preparation was...
Los Angeles, the city of angels, the home of Hollywood glamour, the site of the 2028 Olympics, is telling many of its citizens, just flee, flee, because it does not have the power or the water that they need to stay safe. But the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, is now finally back from Ghana. Joe Biden sent her there for the inauguration. Like, who gives a crap? Why is the LA mayor going to Ghana for some political event? What in the actual F?
Megyn Kelly just detonated a truth bomb so loud, you could probably hear Karen Bass searching for the emergency exit. 1 minute she's preaching about transparency. The next she's performing verbal gymnastics that would make Simone Biles blush. What did she get caught doing this time? Let's just say the cameras were rolling, the evidence was airtight, and Megyn wasn't in the mood for political spin. Buckle up, this isn't just an interview. It's a full-blown reality check with extra drama.
The warnings about these Santa Ana winds being worse than normal and bringing a grave threat were all over the place. You look back at the LA Times now, for days prior to this event, they were jumping up and down saying this actually could get really bad. And she's over there in Ghana for this ceremonial. What? Why? Get your ass back home.
Before we dive in, if you're enjoying this, hit that subscribe button. Helps more than you think. Karen Bass thought she was having an easy day. A few smiles for the cameras, some polished speeches, and a quick round of pretending it isn't collapsing under its own weight. Then came Megyn Kelly, armed with receipts, iced coffee, and that signature grin that usually means someone's about to get roasted. And oh, she delivered, with style, precision, and zero hesitation.
Cruz, fleeing Texas in the middle of a deadly crisis, is part of a larger pattern of the GOP abandoning folks in crisis. We need to build a movement to kick them all out. Well, how'd that one go, madam? Is that part of your pattern on your team to abandon folks during a crisis? I mean, I realize you sent a couple of tweets, but in this kind of situation, people like to see and hear from their leaders. And you were in Ghana enjoying yourself.
Started small. One of those no one will notice moments politicians think will slip through the cracks. Spoiler, Megyn noticed. Her radar pinged like a metal detector over buried treasure. Suddenly, Bass's perfectly calm image started twitching, like Wi-Fi during a thunderstorm. That's when everyone knew something was off. And Megyn was just getting started.
I just was saddened by it, honestly, because I think that response was beneath him. And he was in my office a couple of weeks ago. We're working on something. We're working on a couple of things together. But I think that he is sad and bitter. And I think that it is really sad to exploit. You guys laughing about that? I feel like it's exploiting tragedy. It's exploiting grief. And this is when the city needs to stand.
The irony. Karen built her entire image as the steady hand guiding Ella through chaos, the voice of reason, the unshakable leader. Except it turns out that steady hand was busy juggling excuses. Her signature calm started cracking, and underneath it, a revelation no amount of PR polish could hide.
You've got ICE and Tom Homan's team trying to clean up MacArthur Park. Isn't this your home state, Cannon? And your lovely mayor, Karen Bass, goes out there not to say, thank you, it's riddled with MS-13. Literally no children ever play here because they could get shot. It's become a place where illegal immigrants go to get false IDs and try not to get killed by MS-13. She calls up the head of CPB out there and says, get out. Don't come here. We don't want you. In response to which that guy says, I don't work for you.
Because when Megyn Kelly digs, she excavates. Archaeologists could take notes. She doesn't stop at headlines. She goes straight for the bones. And this time, what she uncovered wasn't some small oops. It was a full-on, how did you think you'd get away with that? Moment. While Los Angeles was drowning in potholes and confusion, Karen was too busy managing her image, until that image shattered faster than a phone screen in a blender. PR teams scrambled. Statements were draft. Excuses flew. But when Megyn's already turned the spotlight on you, there's no hole deep enough to hide in.
She finally holds a presser, and it was a complete disaster. First of all, before I get to the truly disastrous part, listen to her describing herself. Like, I basically got on the back of Superman to come home. Take a listen to this shot, too.
I've been in constant contact with our fire commanders, with county, state, and federal officials. I took the fastest route back, which included being on a military plane, which facilitated our communications. So I was able to be on the phone the entire time of the flight.
And once the audience saw it, they saw it. The smirk, the double take, the awkward pause that screamed, did she really just admit that? Social media went wild. Within hours, everyone became a detective, rewinding clips, dissecting quotes, and comparing interviews like it was a Netflix crime special. Karen Bass. The case of the missing accountability. You can't preach integrity and get caught doing the opposite. It's like a fitness coach getting busted mid-marathon with a cheeseburger. The irony wrote itself.
Fastest route home? Are we supposed to be giving credit for the fact that she didn't book too many layovers? This is an absurd person. And you don't have to take my word for it in response to that inanity you just heard. Listen to the mayor. In her time of crisis, her city's time of massive crisis, in directing people where to go if they need information, which they do because their houses are burning and their family members in at least 5 cases are dying. Listen to this idiot.
You could freeze any frame of that interview and see it. That moment when politicians realize their story doesn't match their face. Megyn's takedown wasn't loud or angry. It was surgical. Precise. She sliced through excuses like a scalpel through skin. No theatrics needed. Just cold, clean truth. And the result? Karen's explanations looped in circles like a broken GPS. Recalculating. Please make a U-turn to integrity. Classic. Predictable. And perfectly exposed.
Karen Bass was, she's in this spirited competition with Brandon Johnson, who can be the most ineffective mayor. It's impressive, really.
Yeah,
in its way.
Dark horse coming up the third position in the lane. Possible Zoran Mamdani. He's running.
The Big Apple. She was a member of the House for a long time and kind of generally well-liked, pleasant person, not considered a heavyweight. And when she ran for mayor, I remember being surprised. She had no executive authority. I didn't think she'd win. She did.
Then came the aftermath. Commentators, analysts, and even comedians circling like vultures over fresh headlines. Every clip was replayed, every contradiction magnified. Karen tried to pivot, to talk about her achievements and her love for the city. But once Megyn locks onto a story, she doesn't blink. No politician wins a spin battle against someone who makes truth sound both hilarious and devastating. It was a masterclass in how to unravel a facade, one smirk at a time.
They literally are killing your citizens and getting people addicted to drugs, like innocent Americans. And you're on the side of the dog poop. Like somebody who came through and said, I'm going to clean up all the dog poop so the children can play and they don't have to deal with it anymore. And the mayor came out and said, the dog poop stays. Step away. This is the position she's taking. And it's not just her. You're right. Zoran Mamdani, who's likely to be our next mayor in New York City, is having this clash right now with the sitting mayor, Eric Adams, where Mamdani is saying, I will not work with ICE. I will not funnel any illegals to ICE's way, even if there is a federal detainer.
Even her own supporters started twisting themselves into pretzels. Maybe she didn't mean it like that. Maybe Megyn took it out of context. But the evidence didn't need context. It spoke louder than her talking points. The real comedy came during Karen's follow-up interview. She smiled like everything was fine, pretending the internet hadn't already turned her blunder into a meme museum. The audience wasn't buying it. By midweek, the story was everywhere. Remix clips, parodies, headlines. Suddenly, Even people who never cared about city politics were tuning in just to watch the chaos unfold.
Go out there, and Trump picks a fight with Mayor Karen Bass, which was absolutely beautiful. This soundbite's a little long, but watch it play out. They're arguing over how long it's going to take to clean up the fire damage in places like the Pacific Palisades, so people can get back on their properties and get what might still be there, which there is in some cases some debris that's salvageable. See the damage, survey what's left so they can figure out their next move. None of that's being allowed. Watch.
But we are going to move as fast as we can, but we want you to be safe. We want you to be back in your homes immediately.
But the people are...
Here's the thing about being exposed. It doesn't end with the news cycle. It lingers. It sticks to your reputation like a bad tattoo of your own campaign slogan. Megyn's takedown wasn't about humiliation. It was about accountability. No shouting, no insults. Just facts, calmly delivered with a side of irony. Once people see behind the curtain, you can't pretend the wizard's still in control. Karen's campaign could spin it all they wanted, but once that mask slipped, it was over.
Stupid to be the mayor of Los Angeles. She is too stupid to be in public office. You failed, madam. You failed. You failed to prepare for the crisis. And then when your country and your city needed you, what did you do? Oh, you took the fastest route home with no layovers on a military plane? Great. And when you got there, you were too dumb to realize that URL was a placeholder and then to actually look to your team and say, what is the URL? What is the web address? You are a moron. And I am sorry for our friends in Los Angeles who don't deserve this. I realize they voted for this woman, but I'm going to assume they thought she had two nickels to rub together in between her ears.
The leader who promised clarity got tangled in her own web. And the journalist who called her out didn't even have to raise her voice. Because this wasn't just about one politician, it was about the cycle. Power, denial, exposure, repeat. Megyn just held up the mirror. And when Karen looked in, she saw every contradiction staring right back. She'll survive, sure. Politicians always do. But that credibility, that's going to need a full rebuild. Maybe even a rebrand. Karen 2.0, now with extra accountability.
California is these mealy-mouthed, kale-eating, broccoli-pushing, Birkenstock, whatever, wearing politicians who can't find another person fast enough to blame. My absolute favorite, though, is the fire chief. She's growing on me. When she's not focusing on her lesbianism, she's actually quite fierce. She is not going down without bringing Mayor Karen Bass with her. And who could blame her?
By the time the headlines cooled, Karen had entered her redemption arc suddenly. She was all about transparency again. Holding press events like a student retaking a test they swore they passed. The public smiled politely, but the damage was done. Megyn had already moved on, eyebrow raised, mission complete. Because when you expose hypocrisy this cleanly, you don't need to gloat. The replay button does it for you. And every time Karen smiles for the cameras, that one invisible whisper will follow. Remember the receipts. In a city full of polished slogans and photo ops, the real show begins when someone trips over their own PR script. Megyn didn't destroy Karen Bass. She just let the truth do its job. And in politics, that's the most brutal punchline of all.